have your locker searched, which is kind of a problem. And police can't use just whatever evidence they find. So hopefully this will help you with your answer there. All right. Next amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital, let's get that better, or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentiment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be a subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy. So this is the part you'll hear. Of life or limb, nor shall it be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall the private property be taken for public use without just compensation. This is Amendment number 5, what it actually says. And what you're going to hear is, I plead the 5th. You will have heard that places, I'm sure. This is the first in a series of amendments addressing the rights of citizens when facing prosecution. This means you've been accused of a crime. And we want to make sure that if you've been accused of a crime, you don't go to jail if you're not guilty. This amendment prohibits jailing individuals without charging them publicly with a crime. It forbids trying someone twice for the same crime. So if you are found not guilty, you can't do it again. That is called double jeopardy. Scholars and lawyers have also used the phrase, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law as the basis for the idea that someone is innocent until proven guilty. The phrase innocent until proven guilty, however, does not appear in the Constitution, so that's something we've added. This amendment also prohibits self-incrimination. That is a real important part. The responsibility of proving guilt falls on the prosecution, not the person who is accused of the crime. This is where the famous phrase, I plead the 5th, comes from. It translates to this. I decline to answer this question where the answer might incriminate me. Now, sometimes people think, oh, well, look, they look guilty anyway. But it means that you get to say I don't want to. So this word incriminate probably means that you are saying you're guilty about something. All right. Almost there. In criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of state and district, wherein the crime shall have been committed, which the district shall have been previously ascertained to the law, and be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Ooh, that's a long one. It's number 6, what it says. So it actually says. All right. This amendment protects the right to a public trial. It makes it illegal for a secret police force to arrest someone without telling them a reason. The police cannot whisk an American citizen off, throw them into an underground cell, and have a trial for them that they cannot attend, which makes us different than a lot of countries. Many countries have held these types of trials, and some of these countries still engage in these practices today. So what is the purpose of this sentence right here? It's telling you an example, isn't it? It says, here are some things you can't do with the 6th Amendment. You can't just, get me and put me in jail and then have a trial without anyone else being there. All right, this will be Amendment number 7. It suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined by the court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. Whew. This one's a bit confusing. Right, here is what it actually says. Let me come up here. This amendment protects against the will of a single judge. This means the decision of one judge. It places more power in the hands of the people. Scholars have used this amendment as a basis of the idea that everyone is guaranteed the right to a trial by a jury of one's peers. Just like innocent until proven guilty, the phrase jury of one's peers does not appear anywhere in the Constitution. So a peer is someone who's like you. You're at the same level. There is a great debate about how fairly juries decide cases or how much of their verdicts are based on personal prejudice and feelings. In general, however, it is thought that putting this power in the hands of the people is better than putting it in the hands of a single judge. So in this case, you want to make sure that you understand you could either have a judge or you could have a jury by your peers, and there's an argument. There's a debate between those two things. So a judge, question mark, or jury. Which one is the best? That's what we still are kind of thinking about. Here we go. We're so close. Number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. So this is what it actually says. Let's see what it means. Amendment number 8. This amendment outlines the cruel and unusual punishment, like torture, ensuring another important right for people facing prosecution. The critical debate over the death penalty used by the federal government and in 2016, 31 of the 50 states often focuses on the 8th Amendment. Is killing someone a form of cruel and unusual punishment? Well, this is a question right there, huh? In 1972, the Supreme Court prohibited the death penalty in the United States, then reinstated it in 76. So we had 4 years without the death penalty. Today, America is one of the only industrialized nations in the world that still executes, which means puts to death, criminals. So in 1972, we got rid of it, of death penalty. But then we got it back in 76. Crazy, huh? All right. 2 more amendments. We are that close. All right, amendment number 9. Oops, hold on. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or despair others retained by the people. This is an important amendment for people who wanted to make it clear that humans have more rights than those just listed in the amendments. So this is saying there's more rights than what we just said. For example, the Constitution does not explicitly guarantee the right to eat, but that doesn't mean the United States citizens don't have that right. So when you think about the 9th Amendment, it just says just because the right isn't listed doesn't mean that it's not a right that we have. So there are more rights than in the Bill of Rights, because they just really want to make sure that we're protected and we won't get into a situation again with like what happened with King George. The last one, this is amendment number 10, what it actually says in bold. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved for the states respectfully or to the people. So what this amendment says, it says that, what states' rights are going to get more. You have an advocate for that. So this amendment confirms that states can create their own laws as long as the laws don't violate the Constitution. If it's not written in the Constitution saying that it goes to the federal government, then you get to have it at the state level. And so the people who like that were the ones who wanted state rights to be more important. So our states, more than one, rights is where this comes in. Okay.